Police investigate a shooting in New Orleans East that left a juvenile dead. So this shooting happened around 5:20 this evening in the 14,700 block of Chef Mentor Highway. When officers arrived to the scene, they found a juvenile male in a residence with a gunshot wound. He was pronounced dead at the scene, and police did not share any details about a suspect or a motive in this shooting at this time. If you have information that could help investigators, call the NOPD.